This is St. Louis on the Air from St. Louis Public Radio. I'm Elaine Cha. Earlier this summer, the St. Louis Municipal Opera Theater, otherwise known affectionately and famously as the Muny, opened its 106th season of musicals in Forest Park. Each season presents classics like Fiddler on the Roof, which finished its 2024 run last week. And for the last 13 years, productions brand new to the Muny stage have very intentionally been part of each season. Last night, in fact, was the very first night of the Muny's premiere of Waitress, which includes songs like What Baking Can Do, as heard in the original Broadway recording.
And it washes off of all the dirty dishes. When it's done, I can smile. It's on someone else's plate for a while.
So the version we just heard may be quite familiar to Waitress fans. What will make the Muny's production of the musical beloved here in St. Louis is who's playing its lead character, Jenna, and who's directing it. Here to talk about that, as well as the Muny's premiere of In the Heights this summer, we welcome Mike Isaacson, Muny executive producer and artistic director. Mike, thanks so much for being on the show again.
It's great to be here.
So Waitress is a story that's set in a small town in the Midwest, and its lead character, Jenna, works as a waitress, but she works magic making pies. And the musical is about Jenna finding her way back to her dreams and different kinds of love being key ingredients to that. So Mike, tell us about who's playing Jenna and what makes that performer such a great fit for the Muny in St. Louis.
Wow, great question. I think one of the things that's remarkable about Waitress, and it's interesting you sort of tip Fiddler, because there is the tradition in the American musical theater. If you look at all the great musicals, they are about what I would call just sort of straightforward, simple people. West Side Story, the dancers in a chorus line thing. Waitress continues that tradition because it's three women working in a diner that's not the nicest place in the world, right? Mm-hmm. And it is about their hopes, aspirations, and the world they live in. So what the audience needs in order to really capture that world are actors who are so honest and so clean and clear in their performance and the integrity of it. And our lead, played by Jenna, her name is Jessica Vosk, and I first worked with Jessica on a musical that was being developed before COVID. It was down in Atlanta. And unbeknownst to me, she had had a huge career as an Elphaba in Wicked and had this huge following. Mm-hmm. So after like the first preview of the show, there were all these people out in the theater. I'm like, what's going on here? And they're like, oh, Jessica's a thing. Now, I just knew her as an actor. And one of the things that happens, unfortunately, in this business is you get pegged as sort of just being able to do one thing.
Right.
And she was extraordinary in this show. And I had a couple conversations, and I was like, I'd like you to be a part of the Muny family. Come join us. And so now this is her third show here, and we just opened it last night, and she got entrance applause. Mm-hmm. The Muny audience is so fantastic because they really connect with artists and people who return, and they watch their work. And Jessica just has a very special relationship with the audience that's clear in this part of Jenna.
Mm-hmm. Now, the person who is directing Waitress is Lillian Brown, and Lillian is no stranger to the Muny either. Mm-hmm. Last season, she directed The Color Purple.
No, last season she directed Rent.
It was Rent, but she's previously
the season before that
directed
was
The Color Purple.
Yeah.
Is there something about the combination of Lillian Brown and Jessica Vosk that works especially well for Waitress?
I think what Lillian brilliantly brings to the table, and you saw these in the two prior productions, and I actually had to sell her on doing Waitress. When I called her, she was like, I'm not so sure. I don't really know the show. Mm-hmm. But Lil is brilliant of guiding her actors to be very honest and direct and to trust their own support and acting instincts. She works in a way at the Muny unlike any other director. We have a very fast rehearsal process, 11 days. She will literally hand the first 3.5 days over to music, choreography, to all the other departments. Usually directors want to take control and go get their work done. And then she stages the entire show in a day and a half because she's connecting the actor to the direct progress of the story. So they learn it as their characters grow and develop. And that becomes very powerful. So the three women who play the leads, the majors, you feel this friendship on stage last night. I mean, we had an opening that was unbelievable because it was a true discovery for the audience. They didn't know what this show was.
Okay.
And they literally trusted these actors and everything went into it, in the laughter. And, you know, Waitress tells some very powerful ideas. It is a women's story. I mean, you find out at the top of the show, Jenna's married. It's not a good marriage, and she's pregnant. What is she going to do?
Right.
Yeah.
What were people saying as they left? I mean, I was looking at the weather and crossing my fingers that there wouldn't be a rain out.
It was a beautiful night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is the feeling that you left with? And was there a particular scene in the musical that really sort of exemplifies that magic that happens between a director and with performers who are just in sync?
Well, at a point where the show is on the stage, we call, you know, a director hands it to the company. It's theirs now, right? So you've given all this work and all these ideas. What was really magical last night, and we're all talking about it in a post-production meeting today, was it's rare that you have a night of total discovery. Most of the audience didn't know the show. And they just went on the journey. They went on Jenna's journey. They went on all the other characters' journey. There's some great supporting characters who are hilarious. And it gave them meaning and value. And the show talks about things emotionally and things that happen in people's lives that not many musicals do. And the audience loved it.
Yeah.
And they were, I mean, it's odd for me now because people are so kind to me, and they will come up directly to me like, I love that. That was great. You know, like there was a connection that was really, really powerful. Instant standing ovation.
Yeah.
Just boom, there we went.
Well, you said that Jenna Voska, she got applause coming in.
On her entrance, yeah. We did, we did give her a star entrance. The whole company's on stage, and then she comes up on one of our lifts. So it was a little like,
sure.
I mean, we kind of, we might have put a thumb on the scale on that one, but it was magical.
Right. So Waitress runs until August 5th. And then right after that, starting August 9th, there's another premiere taking the stage at Forest Park, and that's Lin-Manuel Miranda's In the Heights, which Broadway.com describes as a hip musical with a sweet story and hot tunes. So the story is set in the North Manhattan neighborhood of Washington Heights. Let's hear a bit of the song from the original Broadway recording that introduces us to any of the In the Heights characters, including Usnavi de la Vega.
Lights up on Washington Heights, up at the break of day. I wake up and I got this little punk I gotta chase away. Pop the grade at the crack of dawn, sing while I wipe down the awning. Hey y'all, good morning.
Ice cold piragua, parcha, china, cherry, strawberry, and just for today, I got mame.
Oye, Piragüero, ¿cómo está?
Como siempre, señor Usnavi.
I am Usnavi, and you probably never heard my name. Reports of my fame are greatly exaggerated, exacerbated by the fact that my syntax is highly complicated, cause I immigrated from the single greatest little place in the Caribbean, Dominican Republic. I love it, Jesus, I'm jealous of it, and beyond that, ever since my folks passed on, I haven't gone back. God damn, I gotta get on there. Oh. The milk is gone, Dad. Hold it just a second.
So, Mike, in the Muny's production of In the Heights, a notably young performer, Benji Santiago, plays the lead role of Usnavi. In what specific ways does Santiago embody Usnavi's spirit and energy?
Well, you hear, in what we just heard, like the first time I heard that, saw that, no one knew who Lin-Manuel Miranda was. This was the debut. And he stood on the stage and delivered that, and literally you felt everyone's molecules change. Who is this talent? What is this? I mean, in the tradition of American musical, this is this is Cole Porter, this is Irving Berlin, this is Jerome Kern. I mean, this is a voice.
Yeah.
And so when you're casting the part now, we now have a relationship to Lin-Manuel Miranda that's gone through Hamilton, and then, the impact he's having with all the Disney films now, Encanto, and it's just like, this is a cultural force. So we have to find a young man who can walk on the stage with that legacy behind him and come out on stage to 10,000 people and start singing that, and they have to fall in love immediately. And I think we found it in Benji. We had hundreds of Broadway performers submit for this part. And this is a college kid at Carnegie Mellon, and he submitted a tape, and we just went, that's him. That is a magical performer.
And why is that vital to this musical as a whole, and to this specifically as a Muny premiere?
I don't. It's vital to the show because casting is not a science. It is an elixir. It is finding a combination you don't have words for. And it's like what we had with Adam in Fiddler. He began talking as Tevye, and you as an audience member intuitively went, well, this is Tevye. And I want to spend the night with him. I want to take this journey with him. And so it's so important that you can find somebody where the audience trusts and is open to see where they're going to take them.
Now, William Carlos Angulo has choreographed Muny productions of On Your Feet, Legally Blonde, Little Shop of Horrors. But with In the Heights, he's making his directorial debut with the Muny. What made this the right musical, and maybe even the right season for Angulo to direct for Muny audiences?
Well, for me personally, one of the most beloved traditions of the Muny is the Muny is known throughout the U.S. and around the world as the starting point for many incredible talents. Tommy Tune choreographed his first musical at the Muny. Like, the number of luminaries who impacted musical theater, who began their lives and careers at the Muny, is unbelievable. And we're so proud of that. William, when he did his first show, choreographer, he was in Chicago. My brilliant artistic associate, Michael Baxter, had danced with him in a show and said, hey, we should look at this guy. And we did an interview, and he just said special. And he came and did On Your Feet. And he, right away, I could tell his command of the room, his vision, the way he worked with people, that there was a big vision here. So the Muny is a very specific place, and you have to learn it it's like learning muscles. You develop it. And he choreographed the 3 shows, and we said, okay, it's now time. I want you to step up the show. He loves this show. It is great, profound meaning to him. So we're really excited. And everybody backstage is so thrilled. It's like, someone's kind of grown up there, and now you're helping them, go to the advanced level.
Right. In the 13 years, Mike, that you've been with the Muny, you have prioritized premieres by making each season include them. Apart from keeping things fresh for devotees, do premieres also bring in new audience members to the Muny, especially people who don't necessarily identify as fans of musicals?
I think yes. I mean, they do bring in new audiences. Like, your producer was like, hey, I'm coming to Waitress, and I don't think she'd mind me saying she clearly looked under 30, and so you sort of have this thing. The glory of the Muny, and I don't use that word lightly, is it's always served an audience from 8 to 80, and they're together. So if you do all 7 shows, it's an incredible adventure, and the hope is for all of them. It's like with the little ones, when they come to see Little Mermaid, it opens the door. Or somebody who just might know Sarah Bareilles or Lin-Manuel will come and be like, this is amazing. This place is amazing. What's going on here? This form is amazing. All right, let's go check out fill in the blank. And, I'm just openly extremely biased. The American musical is greatness. It is greatness, and it should be a part of everybody's lives. It is extraordinary.
So one of my STLPR colleagues had mentioned something about the insane ice cream cones at the Muny. So for anyone who's going for the first time ever, and in full disclosure, that includes me, I've not been yet, what's one practical tip that you have to make the experience maximally memorable?
I would come early and come at least a half hour early, because we have 3 stages that surround the actual theater itself that have singing and music and performances. All that information is on our website every night. Sometimes the Muny Kids and Teens performs. We have artists from throughout the community who are on the side stages. And you really get a beautiful sense of St. Louis, the best of St. Louis. Everybody's there. And everybody's, happy, and people are picnicking with they brought food and a bottle of wine, and it's just a beautiful experience. And then the power of sitting amongst 10,000 people is unlike anything else in the world.
Mike Isaacson is executive producer and artistic director of the Muny. Mike, thanks for talking with us today.
Thank you.
This episode was produced by Elaine Shaw.
Our audio engineer is Aaron Dorr. This podcast was mixed and edited by Aaron.
Our executive producer is Alex Hoyer.
St. Louis on the Air is a production of St. Louis Public Radio. Understanding starts here.
Do you find yourself regularly listening to episodes of St. Louis on the Air? Suggest us to a friend you think might enjoy our conversations. And leave us a review and rating on Apple Podcasts on the App Store. It's the simplest way to help people discover our show. Thanks.
St. Louis Public Radio is a member-supported service of the University of Missouri St. Louis.
The Gateway brings you the day's news each weekday from around the St. Louis region and the state capitals in Jefferson City.
Our schools are accredited. We don't need this bill.
And Springfield.
How many more years must pass before lawmakers see time is of the essence?
I'm Abby Larico. Join me each weekday for The Gateway on the STLPR app or wherever you get podcasts.